Welcome back to my channel, Adventures in America. If you are new to my channel, my name is Jocelyn, and for today's topic, I'm going to discuss the latest travel protocols in the Philippines, especially for US passengers entering starting January 16. However, there is an important announcement from the Philippine government for all foreign nationals traveling on February 16 onwards. And I'm going to do a separate video regarding that because there are so many details that I will be discussing in that video. The good news is that USA has not made it to the red list as of today. However, USA never made it to the green list, and USA remains on the yellow list country. There are new protocols for all yellow list countries starting January 16 until the end of January 31st. However, things could change anytime. If you are going to be affected by these travel protocols, please share in the comment section below and let us know your experience. Please take note that the Philippines is not yet open for international tourism, and foreign tourists are not yet allowed entry. The only eligible passengers are Filipinos, non-Filipinos who are former citizens, dual citizens, and certain foreign nationals who have valid and existing visas. Other than that, other foreign nationals will be barred entry if you try to enter the Philippines. However, if you are flying to the Philippines and your only option is to have a 72-hour negative test, the cutoff date is 1 a.m. of January 19 of 2022. So here is the actual rule from the IATF regarding the 72-hour negative test acceptance. Negative pre-departure RT-PCR tests taken 72 hours prior to departure shall be honored until 1 hour or 1 a.m. of January 19 of 2022. After that, Philippines will no longer accept the 72-hour negative test. Instead, if you don't have it after January 19 or January 20 onwards, you will be denied boarding. For all eligible passengers, and if you are traveling within this period, January 16 until the end of January, here are the travel protocols for all yellow list countries. Or if you are an eligible passenger of the US, here are the requirements. The Philippines is transitioning to 48 hours of negative test prior to departure from the country of origin. You must have an RT-PCR test and not an antigen test, because there are so many questions from our viewers asking if antigen test can be accepted in the Philippines. The answer is no. Only RT-PCR test 48 hours before departure from the country of origin. The issue is that there are testing shortages, especially here in the US, and it is impossible to obtain the 48-hour negative test before flying because sometimes it could be delayed. It is possible that there could be delays in the releasing of your test results before you fly to the Philippines. Now you must have the 48-hour negative test prior to boarding. Here's the actual rule from the IATF. You must be in the green lane, yellow lane, or red list in the last 14 days, and there is a corresponding quarantine protocols for vaccinated and vaccinated. However, if you are a transit passenger in any of these countries included in the green, yellow, or red list, you are not considered passenger of such countries. One great news for all US passengers is that the US CDC card is now being accepted based on the reciprocity agreement for the vaccination proof. There is now a shortened home quarantine for vaccinated passengers coming from yellow list countries. For fully vaccinated individuals, a negative RT-PCR test taken within 48 hours prior to departure from the country of origin will be required, and upon arrival, they shall undergo facility-based quarantine. You will still need to pre-book your hotel for 6 days, but you will undergo facility-based quarantine with an RT-PCR test taken on the 5th day. Once with a negative result, you may be released for completion of home quarantine up to the 7th day from the date of arrival. It's a protocol for unvaccinated. Individuals who are unvaccinated, partially vaccinated, or whose vaccination status cannot be independently validated. A negative RT-PCR test taken within 48 hours prior to departure from the country of origin will be required, and upon your arrival, you shall undergo facility-based quarantine with an RT-PCR test done on the 7th day, with the date of arrival being the first day. Once with a negative result, they may be released for completion of home quarantine up to the 14th day from the date of arrival. The only difference is that the Philippine government is penalizing unvaccinated eligible passengers and incentivizing vaccinated passengers. Here are the eligible passengers to the Philippines and the immigration entry requirements. Let's talk about who are the only eligible passengers or those who are allowed to enter the Philippines. You needed to present your proof of Filipino citizenship, such as a Philippine passport. However, there are Filipinos whose passport has been lost, damaged, or expired. There is actually a relief or a remedy, so Filipinos without Philippine passport can travel to the Philippines by obtaining a travel document from Philippine Consulate abroad for emergency use. Please remember that this travel document is only allowed for applicants who cannot be issued a Philippine passport and have an emergency travel to the Philippines, such as due to medical or legal reasons or death in the family. This is only a one-time use travel document, and it's only good for 30 days from its issuance. So this is only a one-way ticket to the Philippines, and if you needed a Philippine passport, you must apply once you arrive in the Philippines. Another set of passengers are dual citizens. Dual citizens are Filipinos who have acquired a foreign citizenship and at the same time reacquired Filipino citizenship. You actually have two options. If you don't have your Philippine passport, you can present your dual citizenship documents. Another type of passengers are former Filipinos. These are Filipinos who have been naturalized in a foreign country. That means that your Filipino citizenship is renounced upon foreign naturalization. In addition, former Filipinos in possession of Philippine passport becomes void because you are no longer a Filipino. Another important information to remember is that former Filipinos can still travel to the Philippines through the Balikbayan visa. If you are a former Filipino and you still have a valid Philippine passport, does that make you a dual citizen? The answer is no. Former Filipinos who are in possession of an expired or valid Philippine passport after becoming a foreign citizen does not make you a dual citizen. Please remember this. There is actually a special privilege granted to former Filipinos. Former Filipinos can travel to the Philippines through the Balikbayan visa program, and you can avail this visa upon arrival in the Philippines. In addition, Balikbayan visa is free and you must proceed to Filipino lane upon arrival at the immigration. You need to ask immigration that you will be availing of Balikbayan visa. Also, in addition, you will be granted Balikbayan visa, which is valid for 1 year upon arrival in the Philippines. Now, former Filipinos can travel alone or with family members such as a spouse or children. Now, if a former Filipino will be traveling together with foreign spouse or foreign children, both spouse or children can avail of Balikbayan visa and stay in Philippines visa-free for 1 year. The foreign spouse or foreign children traveling together with former Filipino must have a return or onward ticket. Also, foreign spouse or children must have a valid passport for at least 6 months and beyond. Now, here are the immigration entry requirements for former Filipinos. Your foreign passport plus your Philippine passport, old or valid, or your foreign passport and authentic birth certificate. For former Filipinos or Filipinos traveling with their foreign spouse, the foreign spouse must present their foreign passport plus authentic marriage certificate. If traveling with a foreign child, foreign passport plus authentic birth certificate. For adopted child, foreign passport plus adoption certificate. Visa-free privileges for foreign nationals married to Filipino or former Filipino traveling together under EO 408. Also, you must present an authentic marriage certificate. Also, report of marriage is not required to enter in the Philippines. In addition, proceed to Filipino lane at immigration and tell immigration you will be availing of the Balikbayan visa. Now, let me provide you the immigration entry requirements for traveling couples. First, you must present authentic marriage certificate. Second, passport must be valid for 6 months and beyond for non-Filipinos. And third, return or onward ticket is not required for Filipinos or former Filipinos, but check with the airline for requirements. Those who are admitted as Balikbayans are given an initial stay of 1 year. They may extend their stay for another 1, 2, or 6 months, provided that they present their valid passport and filled out the visa extension form and submitted to the visa extension section in the Bureau of Immigration main office or any Bureau of Immigration offices nationwide. So one additional requirement will be asked for Balikbayans who have stayed in the Philippines after 36 months or 3 years. Effective December 24 of 2021, a Filipino and foreign spouse, which means a native foreign spouse with same-sex marriage, shall be temporarily admitted. Now, let me provide you the law or the rules for gay or lesbian couples married abroad, and one of them is either a Filipino or former Filipino. Under the Family Code of the Philippines, Article 26, all marriages solemnized outside the Philippines in accordance with the laws in force in the country where they were solemnized and valid there as such shall also be valid in the country or in the Philippines except those prohibited under Articles 35 or 36, 37, and 38. Now, let's talk about another set of eligible passengers. Foreign spouse not traveling with Filipino spouse. And I mean these are native foreign spouse, not former Filipinos. You must have a 9A visa from a Philippine consulate and your passport must be valid for at least 6 months and beyond. You must also have a return or onward ticket. In addition, the Filipino spouse must be in the Philippines at the time of your intended travel. Now, what are the immigration requirements for a foreign spouse? First, you must present an authentic marriage certificate. The immigration will not accept copies or fake documents. Now, let's talk about native foreign parent with Filipino child in Philippines. First, you must have a valid 9A visa, and second, passport must be valid for at least 6 months and beyond, and third, you must have a return or onward ticket. In addition, the Filipino child must be in the Philippines at the time of your intended travel. Now, what are the entry requirements for foreign parent with Filipino child in the Philippines? First, you must have an authentic birth certificate of the child to prove filiation. Otherwise, you will not be allowed entry. Always present authentic or original documents to the immigration. The foreign nationals who are allowed to travel, but you must have a valid and existing visa. First, Special Resident Retirees Visa or holders of SRRV visa. The SRRV visa can be applied at the Philippines under the Philippine Retirement Authority. Other set of foreign nationals allowed are holders of Philippine immigrant visas, holders of a 13A, 13B, 13C, 13D, 13E, and 13G visas. Other set of foreign nationals allowed are accredited foreign government and international organization officials and their dependents. Another set of passengers are foreign airline crew members. Here are the standard health protocols for all passengers from yellow list countries or passengers from the US. First, you must register through the One Health Pass 72 hours before arrival in the Philippines. And second, you must either have a pre-booked hotel for 6 days for the vaccinated and 8 days for the unvaccinated. Also, you must have a 48-hour negative test prior to departure from the country of origin, and those who are having a 72-hour test, you have until January 19, 2022, 1 a.m. to present your 72-hour negative test. Now, you will also have to register for the Traze Mobile Application, and you must also wear a face mask. Bring a face shield. It is only a voluntary requirement. You must bring a face mask and the face shield just in case the alert levels will be heightened during your travel. There is no guarantee that the results will be released soon, and there is a possibility that you could stay longer at your quarantine facility hotel. So bring extra money, and please remember that protocols can change once you arrive in the Philippines. Also, the quarantine stay could be longer once you tested positive and you have serious symptoms. Here are the proof of vaccination accepted in the Philippines. For overseas Filipino workers and their spouse, parents, or children traveling with them vaccinated in the Philippines or abroad, the proof of vaccination that will be acceptable will be the digital or physical vaccination certificate of the foreign government where they were vaccinated without the need for the reciprocity agreement. Now, for non-overseas Filipino workers vaccinated in the country or abroad, or foreigners vaccinated in the Philippines, these are the acceptable proof of vaccination. VaxCert Digital Vaccination Certificate or Bureau of Quarantine World Health Organization issued ICV, or the National or State Digital Certificate of the foreign government where they were vaccinated, which has accepted VaxCert under a reciprocal agreement. Now, for foreign nationals vaccinated abroad, World Health Organization issued ICV or National or State Digital Certificate of the foreign government which has accepted VaxCert PH. Also, please take note that the Philippine government sets the rules regarding the requirements on pre-booking a hotel for quarantine purposes. Now, in compliance with Philippine regulations, only one person is allowed per room except for the following: families from the same household traveling together, especially those with minors. Also, those health and emergency frontline services personnel are also exempted from this rule. Another set of passengers are those guests requiring a companion, such as minor children or children below 18 years of age, or persons needing assistance, such as senior citizens, those who have disabilities, and those who have medical illnesses or conditions. Now, if you think you are qualified in any of these exemptions, you will be asked to sign a waiver when you quarantine in a hotel. Now, there are also other requirements when pre-booking a hotel, and this is the most important. First, the hotel must be accredited or must be in the list of hotels allowed by the Department of Tourism or by the Bureau of Quarantine, and these are the only acceptable hotels. Now, where to find the most up-to-date accredited hotels in the Philippines? You needed to go to onehealthpass.com.ph and click on quarantine facilities prior to departure. The first step is to register or fill out the One Health Pass registration a few days before travel and get the transaction number. For step 2, you must pre-book a hotel for non-overseas Filipino workers and foreign nationals. For OFWs, you will be sponsored and everything is paid for by OWA. For step 3, you must update the One Health Pass registration with electronic health declaration form checklist the day before or on the day of travel and acquire the QR code, print or screenshot your QR code. Of course, the first step is to present your One Health Pass QR code to the Bureau of Quarantine personnel for verification and apply for shortened quarantine hotel if applicable. Step 2 is to present the One Health Pass for arrival and hotel assignment. Now, step 3 is you needed to proceed to the Bureau of Immigration for arrival clearance, baggage claim, and customs inspection. Step 4 is to take the accredited transport service for all non-overseas Filipino workers and foreigners or foreign nationals. A Philippine airline passenger, here are the requirements. After registering for the One Health Pass, passengers will be provided with a QR code which will contain the payment link. So the same payment link will also be sent via the registered email address, and you must book the early testing option through the prepayment link, and passengers may opt to book only until the day of their arrival. Strictly pre-booked and prepaid passengers will be entertained. No phone bookings and on-site payment are accepted. Limited slots are available. Early swab testing option will automatically close once maximum number of booking is reached. If you are required to pay the testing fee for your flight, the testing fee in Manila via the DOH accredited partner Detoxicare is at 2,500 pesos. There is an expedited early swab test under Detoxicare Molecular Diagnostics. For those who are asking about the proof of recovery, the Philippine government has not made any announcement if they are going to accept proof of recovery from COVID. As of this day, the requirement is that you must have a 48-hour negative test prior to departure from your country of origin. There might be some changes in the coming days, but based on the latest travel protocols, there is no acceptance of proof of recovery from COVID-19 infection from the Philippine government. There's also no official announcement from the government when Philippines will open for foreign tourists. However, there is an important announcement regarding foreign nationals entering the Philippines on February 16, and it could be the travel protocols for foreign tourists. However, the Philippine government has not made any official announcement yet. But based on my analysis, the Philippines will eventually reopen in the coming months based on the existing travel protocols. If you have any other questions or comments, please post them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you guys for watching. I hope everyone is staying safe and have a great day.